Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to be continuing with this project, Child of Ether. I think, there's lots of stuff that needs to be fixed, especially the multi-mesh instance. But I think I'm gonna maybe, see if I can actually enter this area here. The environment is gone, the fog is gone, everything's gone. So I'm gonna have to see about restoring all this stuff. Right. Let's see if we can actually enter here. Take the player, line transform, and then reset rotation. See about this. Alright. Well, I mean, we can see collisions. And then sometimes, funny thing is, there is a dedicated node designed explicitly for making... What is happening here? Do we have like volumetrics enabled? Yeah, anyways, we have a specific node designed for keeping the camera out of collidable objects. It's called a Spring Arm 3D. I haven't been using it because I didn't know it existed when I made this. Okay, now there's plenty of stuff that we still need to fix here. But I suppose the first one should be entering and exiting. Okay, so I tried interacting with it. It did not work. Let's figure this out. Invalid call not existent function is playing on base node path. Door animation player. I think I remember this. We're not allowed to contain an actual node path here. Iron, good day. Right. So this, for some reason, contains a node path. Now, why does it contain a node path? Because we do get node here. Okay, let's take a look at the house. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to do a quick little adjustment. There we go. View environment. All right. So, reporting for duty. Rudy Scooty, reporting for duty. All right. So let's open this sucker. We are interacting with, I think, one of these objects. Which one? Door, entrance. It's this one. Okay, we still have a collision shape right there. That's good. And then it, doesn't have a door path. Okay. Oh yeah, and of course the animation is gone. All right, door animation. Okay, come on. I mean, really? This isn't Star Wars. Okay, can we please chill? Thank you. Okay, we're gonna do Bezier curve. Actually, I'm just gonna do it like this. Migration from 3 to 4. That's cool and all. I think it's probably a little too late at this point. I've already screwed everything that I could have screwed up. Okay. We're gonna take this. Give it a curve. Nice. Maybe a little bump in the other direction. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna copy all the tracks. Go to close. Paste it in. Ooh. And then we're gonna reverse this. I think it was a little faster. Hmm. For example, if you have scripts with inherited methods, you have to call super in them now in for. Okay, I've seen the super thing. But I couldn't figure it out. I tried just calling the method called super, and it didn't really do it. So is it like a function that you define, just like process function? Let's see. Super. Yeah, that's basically what that amounted for. Documentation tells me it doesn't exist. Display all. So, it's not exactly very useful. I think this needs to be like 0.5 seconds. Ooh. That's a GDScript thing. Okay, so GDScript super 0 matches. So probably it's not available here. You call it first in the ready function. In the ready function of the parent node or the one that inherits? Because again, if I go... Nah, I'll have to find the inherited object. Let me fix this first. Baby steps. Cool. Okay, let's make this 0.8. Ooh. That thing will smack the bejesus out of you. Okay. See, that's not very useful. Where's that handle? In handle. There we go. Okay. I think we're gonna have to... We'll have to resort to having multiple frames here. Also, this really needs to be mirrored. I'm kind of glad they gave per frame handle settings. Maybe we're just asking too much. Called it from the script you're extending from. Okay, cool. So, in that case, what was the guy's name? Don't remember. Was it Marcus, I think? Yeah. So he's got a script. This is Marcus, and then we have func ready. Say, there we go. Wait, what? Super. Okay. Now, there's no definition for it, so maybe it's just missing from the engine's documentation. Okay, so now the question is, in what order does it run the ready functions? Is it going to be parent, child, or child and then parent? We'll have to come back to that and check what it is. Okay, so now here we have the door. All right, we have this generic entrance. It's a keyword. Like a keyword. Okay, like if func. It's not in the doc. Okay, I would imagine that's kind of an important thing. Also, this is supposed to be the animation player. Door collision shape would be this guy. Child readies always go first before. Well, child, yes, but inherited? Do they get treated the same way? Also, I think I've animated the wrong thing. Nope. Door has everything in it. Cool. Including the mesh instance. Alright, let's give that a test. This is indeed Child of Ether Day. It's probably in the GDScript doc, but not in the API doc. Which, both of them should be relatively the same, though. Okay, alright. Well, that opened. That's good. But now we need to figure out what this has to do with anything. Non-existent function, get data on base viewport texture. Take a screenshot. Oh, that's because the game does autosaving. Game looking good. Right now, game looks like ass from what it used to look like before the port. But thank you nonetheless. I gotta fix this. Non-existent function, get data on base viewport texture. Okay. So this is how we used to take a screenshot. Get the viewport, get the texture from the viewport, get the data. Let's see. Get viewport gives us a viewport. Yes. And then we do get data. Now is this function? Okay. So there's no such thing as get data in here. Get texture gives us the texture. Which is a texture 2D. And then get image gives us the image. So instead of get data, it's get image now, I think. And then image has flip X, flip Y. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. So we do get image, image flip Y, save PNG. All right. Let's give it a good old what for. Also, for some reason, my shaders are being printed to the output again, and I think we've dealt with this in Dreadtail. There was some sort of an option in the project settings to stop shader debugging or something along those lines. There's supposed to be a pop-up here, by the way. Also, this transition, I want to switch. I want to do a circle transition. When we were making the shader for the dirt distortion on the screen, in Dreadtail, I discovered that if you make an image that looks like a gradient and then you round it, then use it on top of the gameplay, you can actually turn it into like a cartoony, you know, like Mario 64, when you transition to the next level, you have like a black screen and a cutout that punches a hole through it, revealing the gameplay. I can do that, and I think that would be like a really fitting transition for something like this. Okay. Now, just put it like an Easter egg where the transition logo is the Bowser logo. It's like a rare thing. Sure, I want to get Nintendo after my ass. Okay. Alright. Right, so let's figure this out though. Invalidate index file name on base node 3D. Oh. Invalidate index file name. Where do you... What? Get tree currency and file name. Oh. That's supposed to be just name. Name of the topmost node. Hold on a second. Did we screw this up? This might be the porting issue. No. Let's just search up dot file name. Okay, we got this in a couple of places. So I think it's just name. Name. What the heck is this? Wait. Static function, get instance root. What is this? Protagonist house? No. Is this the terrain? Util.gd. Zillion scatter tool. Ah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that. Master node. Okay, so it looks like this was the only place where that was the case. I don't even know if the scatter tool is still like a part of the asset library. Also, my inventory slots are doing barrel rolls. Okay. Cool. What's next issue? Attempt to call function store var on base null instance, null instance. That's likely because it failed to open this, because there's likely no such folder. App data. Okay, we go to Godot. User data. Child of ether. Save data. No save slot. Okay. Now. Save basic game information. So this is the point when it's saving it. And I reckon we don't have a directory creation to make sure that there is actually data here. Copy over the thumbnail. We have the save data folder. We don't have save slot. Save slot this. Now where did this come from? Save slot auto. Okay. Got it. So we need to create this folder first. Okay. Ensure the folder is created. So we do var. I think dir handler can actually do that for us. We do here. Save. Right. Dot create make dir recursive absolute. Not really. Make dir. Okay, so we're in user, so we need to create this directory. Save data, and then save data with the same slot number. And I think it's going to create it if it doesn't exist. Okay. I'm just going to pop this over here. Run this again. Okay. Oh, it did create the folder. There we go. There it is. And it does have a bunch of data in it. Now, what do we have here? Load if room changed. If get tree current scene is in group, no load scene. I don't know what the heck this is. Is in group. Cannot call is in group on a null value. Current scene. Interesting. Now, maybe there's now a split second when current scene could be null when we're transitioning between levels. At least that's what the evidence is pointing to. If it's not null and it's not in the group no load scene, this is a curious solution. I don't need loading data every time, everywhere. It only needs to happen on any scene that is like a level. Rooms, houses, buildings, zones, new maps. So I think what I basically did is I said, well, there's only a handful of scenes like main menu, splash screen, where this doesn't need to run. So we're just going to place those into a group called no load scene. Old room name, current scene name. Now this is curious. We're checking if the old room name is not the same as the new room name. Now realistically, if we're basing this on names, and I make a mistake of naming two rooms with the same name, like underground or something, then, well, we're going to end up having an issue. So I think we'll do, instead of name comparison, we're going to do a room comparison. A resource comparison. So if this is not the same as the currently open scene, this becomes the currently open scene. I'm pretty sure the RIDs should never be the same because we backtraced it. Okay. Let's give that a test one more time. And it just doesn't work anymore. Right. Null. The variable is null. Okay, we're still crashing. Are we crashing for the same reason? Non-existent call, invalid call, non-existent function, play on node path. I think that we are inside of the house. Okay, this is buildings. This is external. We need levels. Oh boy. Well, the textures are gone. Everything's gone. Okay, so we have a door. Generic door. Change zone. This is for changing the zone to be an internal one, or I guess set interior, exterior. This is done right here. Music change. Where's the generic door? Door. I think this is, nope, this one. Okay. So it looks like we're just reusing this door here. Door animation path. Door collision shape. Interesting. So this generic door is invisible. Huh. Which I suppose is fine if I want to be able to reuse it for many other types of entrances besides just this. Let's give that a test one more time. Okay. Invalid set index to v1 offset on base null instance with a value of type vector 3. This is our special effect over here. Bedroom raise. Now, we have array material, window array code. I think it's this. Oh boy. It might be it. These particles also. They're supposed to be teeny tiny ones. Oh boy. Hold on a second. That's GPU particles. That is correct. I think it just knocked off some of the settings. So let's do. Man, I am so glad that they went with minimum and maximum scale now instead of the nonsense they were doing before. Okay, so this works except the material. This one didn't get cleared. Doesn't seem to. Oh, keep scale. There we go. That's what I want. All right, let's just make sure that we can actually walk in and out. Mm-hmm. Nice. Can we walk out? There's no animation. The music kicked in, so that's good. Do like that. Okay. I gotta work on some more music, to be honest. Reset. Okay, door open. Rotation degrees. Now, I believe it's supposed to open this way. Okay. Copy all the tracks. Paste all the tracks. Reverse the frames. Snap, preferably. Not the right track. Okay, and then we got, oh, that's locked. Dang it. Okay. Copy. This is a close. Pop, 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 pop. Paste it in. Okay, so that's close, and then this is going to be locked, which is supposed to be this frame. And then it's just supposed to be like us trying to open it and it doesn't want to budge. You know, I went to Long on the Quaid the other day, our Canadian music store, and I gotta say, the site is kind of depressing. I remember, ooh, I think we're animating the wrong thing here. Uh, I remember there used to be a room dedicated to nothing but synthesizers, keyboards, controllers, all sorts of stuff. And you walk in and you're just like blasted with all the lights and all the equipment, and then you're like, I want to have this and I want to have that and I want to have this and this and that and that, and someday I'll be able to afford all this. And now when you walk in, nothing's on the shelves. There's like 3 controllers, and then the rest is whatever's on the website. And then you're like, doesn't nobody just do like impulse buys anymore? You know, isn't that kind of like the whole thing? Like, what's the point of your physical location if there's nothing physically interesting there? Like, I legit just walked in thinking, if there's a controller that catches my eye, I'm gonna pick it up and play around with it. Like, buy it. But there's nothing. There's like some FL Studio controller from Makai or whoever. A couple of keyboards, and I got plenty of those. And yeah, the rest is like window shop on our website. It's like, well, if I have to do that, I can just do that on Amazon. I don't need you then. Like, you gotta actually put in the effort of making yourself look more appealing than Amazon, right? You can't out Amazon. They got that shit on the lockdown. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, a little stronger. Nice. Perfect. Okay, that's cool. There's supposed to be a black void on that piece, on that door texture. Let's see. Oh, they're right. This wouldn't be here. This would be right here. House interior. Okay, now what is this? What is this supposed to be? Definitely not hardwood, but we can find the proper place where that's supposed to go. There we go. Okay, this one had wallpaper. Nice. All right, slowly restoring this whole thing. Okay. Okay, this is supposed to be frame. Interesting. Did we not save it? We might not have. There's a texture for the door entrance. Hey, Mr. Streamer. Good day, Mr. Viewer. Okay, architecture. Houses. Nope. Where was this? It's like a big blotch of black. Texture glow. Can you flip tiles in a tile map? You used to. I haven't had a need to flip a tile. So that I don't know. Oh. It's got to be, oh, door frame. There we go. And that's not it. Interesting. Okay. Door frame. That's the thing. So, let's get the door frame in here. Nice. Yeah, I gotta say, I haven't really had a need to flip a lot of tiles. A lot of tiles I design tend to be not really flippable, so to speak. Cool. Okay. Now this interior environment is supposed to be a little bit weird. There's like a weird moon that you can see if you like pan your camera around. This is supposed to be all black. That door's missing. All these things are missing the textures and we crashed. Open label use show use. Invalid call function node open label GD expected 0 arguments. Right. We got a problem. The label does not accept any parameters, or the show function, we're not supposed to use it, because show and hide is reserved by the engine. We got show label and hide label instead. Okay, now, what was it that just crashed the game, though? It was one of the, what is it? Mixing station. There we go. Show label, hide label. Okay, I need to perform searches outside of the plugin folder. Only scripts. That should be an OnlyFans alternative for programmers and game developers. Only scripts. Okay, label. Show label. Hide label. Open label. Show label, hide label. That performed well. Yeah. Funny thing is, I've done enough PayPal API code experimentation for my educational site to kind of sort of have an idea of how you could pull that off. That would be kind of funny. Now watch the reverse is gonna happen is you see all these people uploading gameplay footage like Pornhub because they're like, YouTube is such a terrible place. I'm gonna upload it to, let's see, what other website host videos for me? Vimeo? No, I gotta pay for that. Yeah, let's go with Pornhub. And then of course, you know, it's with the only scripts is it's gonna be the reverse of that. It's gonna be a whole bunch of people doing programming and game dev, and then some shifty eye skank is gonna be like, huh, here's a platform with a whole lot of nerds and potential simps. I bet I can be a smart one and upload a whole bunch of hoopla on this one. And then of course once we catch on to it in banner, you'll be like, it's censorship, how dare you? It'll probably pull some nonsense off. Use ChatGPT to generate scripts, but it's just going to be the webcam, which is the tiny little window of the computer screen code. Why am I giving this so much thought? Set options, hide show. Oh, this is for hiding and revealing it to, I think, to force it to update the dimensions. Dialog choice box, yeah, okay. Force to update the dimensions by hiding and showing it. Ooh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's not gonna open. Oh, we are falling through the ground. Might have to fix that. That is a giant use label. Okay. Well, that whole environment is supposed to be like pure black. Interior environment, right? Let's give it a sky. Procedural sky. So anytime we enter this area, we're going to have to make sure that this sky gets displayed. And this is supposed to be like a really, really dark, gloomy one. Okay. Okay, so that's the sky. And then we got ambient light. Okay. Now something in here is also casting like... Oh, yeah. There we go. That's the default directional light. Cool. I think that's it. So I'm going to save this. Beautiful. We'll check out what the heck is happening there. Okay. Let me see if it's going to use the environment now. Can I now drag PNG into tile map texture? Yeah, you can, but you have to create an atlas texture, and then you'll see a texture property to the right in the tile set editor. And then there you can drag and drop it in there. Okay. So, what the? Okay. Whatever you say. Oh, I think that's a particle. Okay. The environment did not change. So, we have the set exterior environment. It says interior. It's set to true. So we're using a master node interior for this. Master node doesn't have any errors. So we just got to find whatever's using the interior. Hello. Can we get master node that in? Oh, is it just in the master node? Atlas. What's an atlas texture? It's basically this. You have your 2D node. You have your tile map. Whoops. And then if you're editing your tile map, technically you're editing a tile set. You create a new atlas texture, and then you can like select which texture you're using. If it doesn't present you with that option, you can still set the texture right here. This is where you actually set your PNG. Feel free to roll back in the stream to check that. Right. So why no interior material? Okay, let's close all. Okay. Two-story house. That is not what we want. Environment, set interior, exterior. We have this variable. If the player appears inside interior scene, do not force update the environment variables. That makes sense. Well, the inspector is where you set the resources, but to change those resources, you gotta click on it, and most of the time it'll just give you the settings in the inspector. But a tile set is kind of a big one, so it gets its own dedicated tool. But once you know about it, then you know about it. I should take that advice myself. I complain too much. Okay, environment, protagonist house, interior. That's for the ray. And then interior false. I think we have a singleton for the environment, don't we? Autoload. Oh boy. Global environment. Right. It's a whole scene. Okay. So here we have the interior environment. It's being loaded up. Master node, if master node interior, and the environment is not interior. Oh, interesting. Right. I think we need to get rid of this world environment. Protagonist house. Yes, we have the resource saved. Because we're not allowed to have more than one material. Which also was the reason why in Dreadtail, just when I had performed the port, the environment wouldn't be set, because I've been setting it in the singleton. Okay, so now we can start looking at this, and why does this not work? Let's double check this. So print interior environment set. Let's see if this pops up. It does not. Fascinating. Masternode in-game return. Does this run at all? Print env process running. It does not. Okay, well, the only thing that would prevent it from running is this variable up here, masternode in game. And I think, you know what? I think I know why it doesn't work anymore. It's because the masternode had the in-game variable set to false for the main menu. That's right. So I suppose I need to make sure that the environment code, like day and night cycle, doesn't actually run if we are in the main menu. We have to be in the game. So that's why this right here is the way it is. So I think I can detect the scene changed. And I can say, if the scene is not null, and old room is not the same as the current room, we're going to say entered gameplay room. So if we're going to take this, so if the room that we've just entered is not a no load screen, we tell it to load, and then technically at that point we become in-game. Else in-game is false. This one is true. Rotate option for tiles. Well, there you go. Okay, there's a total of 3 uses of this variable. Huh. Interesting. Apparently, it's only in the master node, but we know for a fact that it's also in here. So I think the Godot search function is messed up. Match case? No. We're searching in the scripts, sure. But that kind of makes sense, because it's got to be only in the scripts. None of the other places. Oh, global environment, I guess, wasn't in the scripts. Why is it in the sprites? Sprites, weather, global environment. Okay. Can we? Yep, there we go. All right, let's hope they didn't break anything. Let's double check. Okay, so now that the environment code is running its thing, we have to adjust all these features. Depth of field is not a thing. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of this stuff. A lot of properties in the environment have changed names. Oh. Okay. Right. So we got the... So all these effects like fog, depth of field... No, just depth of field. They've actually switched to a new place. They've switched to the world, the camera, that is. So to adjust things like fog, the funny thing is, if we have to adjust things like fog, we have this blur, depth, and stuff. Maybe it's better to handle that within the player now. Since the player is the one that controls the camera, right? Cam underwater. Okay, adjustment saturation. I think that's also in the camera. Hold on, let's double check that. So we go camera. Okay. We got attributes. And we got practical and physical attributes. Exposure, depth of field blur, auto exposure. And then physical are whatever this is. Distance camera object that will be in focus. I guess that's a different type of focus. Different algorithm. Okay, we'll work with this for now. Cool. Do I have a camera process here? We do. Nice. So we're going to place this here. That's very cool. Thank you. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so we're going to talk to the camera. It's not an environment anymore. It is attributes. Yes. It's going to transition to whether or not we're underwater. Environment, environment. Okay, now is it still called what it is called? We got camera 3D attributes, DOF blur far amount, DOF blur near enabled. I guess we do have to enable both of them. Far distance, far tension. Interesting. Okay, so this probably not gonna translate as a one-to-one, but suppose we can go ahead and give it a test. Okay, let's migrate. What else? Fog, that part is fine. Saturation. Saturation, I think, might still be in the environment node. Okay, take this out. Go to the ready. There we go. All right. Anything else? Blur far mount. That's good. I think that's basically it. At least for the depth of field. Nice. Okay. env valget index environment on base null instance. So, right, because not an environment. It is camera 3D attributes, was it? Yes. Okay. Is Papa Smurf calling to us again? Invalidate index attributes of, whoops, DOF. There we go. Okay, wow, that looks cool, but what else are you complaining about? Fog color. Right. Right. fog color has a different property name. It is now fog light color. Okay, can we do whole word? That shouldn't really be adjusted. We're gonna have to do dot fog color. Oh yeah, there's only 2 matches. Okay. Environment depth begin. This is not supposed to be here. Oh, that's fog depth begin. Nah, yeah, that is supposed to be here. So we got density, fog density. There's no begin. I gotta say, I kind of liked the fog begin and fog end features. Maybe it's just me. You could do some interesting, funky stuff with it. Okay. Let's keep running, keep crashing, keep fixing. All right. Fog depth end is not a thing anymore. Fog distance. Yeah. Maybe fog depth end should be the density. No, yes. Fog distance array. Actually, yeah, this is it. This is what we're supposed to be adjusting instead. Let's do... Okay, I'm just going to adjust this. So this will be fog density. And it's probably going to be totally incorrect. The values are going to be completely out of whack, but we'll take a look at it for now. And then fog, the other place where we had fog density, that we got to get rid of. Fog enabled, fog density. There we go. Get rid of this. Yeah, so the way the fog is controlled is by averaging all the numbers. That's the only way so far I found to be able to control like multiple types of weather conditions. So you can have morning, which is kind of foggy, but there could also be stormy, which is a little bit more foggy. If you're in the swamp, there will be a little bit more fog than in the valley. So that also has to be accounted for. Stuff like that. What is this? Fog depth end is not a thing anymore, so we're not printing that. Fog density. Okay. Oh boy. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, let's adjust the fog density first. So, if the weather effect is foggy, stormy, it will push back zeros into this whole thing. But I think it has to be... I think we have to do this in reverse now. So if we do 0.2... indoor meta tag to an indoor scene, check that way. Yeah, you can do a meta tag, you can do a node group, you can do a separate node. If the node is present, then you just add it. Then it counts as an interior one. I could have a master node with an array of interior levels, and then it checks if the level we're in is the interior one. There's like a multitude of ways to do it, but they all require you to kind of maintain that thing, right? Not to forget to put in the the values correctly. So yeah, okay. So since we're averaging the fog, if we want very little fog, then it's got to start low. And then if it gets foggy, we add like an extra value to it. And then it just kind of averages all the values. You see, we're just kind of adding more and more and more to it. This is the thing. There's so many combinations, technically, of different weather conditions and day and night cycles that it's kind of tricky to come up with just a universal system. Okay, let's figure out this depth of field thing. So, what do we got? What is the appropriate depth of field value? Let's go in here. Trying to think good use case for meta tags. It honestly feels like meta tags. Like, I'm not gonna complain about meta tags because I know that once I figure out a system or a use case for them, I'm gonna be glad they're there. But it's like it really feels like meta tags are basically just another types of node group. Now watch, Juan's been watching these live streams and he's like, well, if that's the case, I guess we can just remove the node groups. All you need is meta tags. Like, no! That's not what I meant. Okay. Can we find the camera here? Oh, geez, that's a lot of nodes. There's the camera. Okay, let's take a look here. So, we've got the camera attributes. Far distance? Oh, I can't change them. That's fascinating. That's a first. Okay, I guess we can just give it a new one. Oh, right, we can't actually... Oh, this is interesting. We're no longer looking through the camera. Oh man, that is actually very quite handy. Because depth of field used to be a part of the environment node, even the editor camera used to be affected by things like depth of field blur. But now it's a totally separate thing. Okay, so here's what I want to know. If this is the player, can we just like... Oof, okay. I just want to see a little bit more. There we go. That is a very interesting effect. It's like Animal Crossing. Okay, so what do we got? Camera. We've got the transition. This allows us to adjust how lengthy the... Man, I really like the depth of field effect. Like, this is the sort of shit I could never hope for in GameMaker Studio without, like, heavily leaning into shaders. Okay, so let's say when we're close, 26, and when we're underwater, 14. 26 and 14. Okay, blur, far distance, 26. If we're underwater, it's 14 actually. And then 26. We're going to play around with it afterwards, fine tune it. Let's take a look at the near distance. Okay, near distance is 7. So 9. 9 or 0. So 9 if we're underwater, 0 if we are not. What's the reasoning you chose Godot engine over such Unity? It was the first engine I tried, and first engine I tried for 3D, that is, and it just did the job, and I was just kind of like stuck with it. I was on the hunt for different engines at that point already. I tried all sorts of stuff. Not Unity. I haven't really gotten to Unity at that point. Godot just happened to have fallen on my lap before Unity did, and I'm glad it did. It was more realistic. What's happening with the fog? Where is the fog? It was more the reasoning that it just offered all the tools I needed. And, you know, if something offers all the tools you need to get the job done, then you kind of stop searching naturally. Yeah, dodged the bullet. No shit. Damn. Okay, where's my fog? Where does the fog... Where does the fog go? Where's the fog? Fog density. Okay, we need to take a look at what the fog value is. What's the name of the node? Okay, so it's its own canvas. It's not in the player. It's a rich text label. So we got to go global environment, 2D view, this rich text label. Cool. This gives us debug information. Unity thing didn't affect the engine, but affected the user. It definitely affected my perception of viability of choosing it for my projects. You can still make all the same games in Unity, but it's just like, ugh. It's kind of like choosing Unity right now is kind of like it's kind of like getting on the big long treadmill, and there's a sign right in front of the treadmill that says great success. But when you look down the treadmill, you can see right at the end of it is a big drop, and there's a big dildo right at the bottom of it. You know it's there. So getting on the treadmill is kind of like, it's kind of like your choice at that point. You know, it's a little bit of your fault. Okay. The fog is still not here. Although the fog is also that value, I believe. Fog distance array. Fog end. Okay. So that's the fog end. Let's take a look at what the fog density actually tells us it is. Okay, so that's the fog end then. Interesting. Okay. The engine won't die until some anticipated release comes out. I know that anything's possible, but I doubt it. I think sometimes you just have this, you come across an open source project that just like, it just sticks around. Okay, so what gives? Maybe it's because this environment is not the environment that is actually used in the game. let's see here. It says type environment. What if I do save as? I think that might actually be it. The environment that we're using right now, the one that was saved, is still the old one. It's like a separate environment. Let's go to environments, exterior environments. There we go. And I think it's just being loaded, and that one doesn't have things like fog enabled. None of that nonsense. I mean, Unity, not Godot. Ah, gotcha. Got it. Hey, there we go. Okay. I think it's about time we've disabled the visible collision shapes here. You know, the funny thing is that now that we have Godot 4, we don't have to rely on fake volumetrics, sprite-based fake volumetrics to pull the effect off. We can actually use real volumetrics now. Okay. I'm not a fan of the fact that we keep falling through the ground, though. Hold on. I think maybe player's collision sideways. Because that is technically something that happened to the collision shapes. All the capsule collision shapes. There we go. Yeah, there it is. They all became sideways. Which is, it's pretty good. We don't have to rotate it by 90 degrees every time anymore. So I'm just going to do this. Hopefully, eventually, I will actually put together a proper sprite for this. Okay, now what is this shape for? Is that ceiling? Or is that... Oh, that's air. That's for detecting if your head is above water. Yep. Head level area. Cool. Okay. We still have an issue of going uphill. It's a little bit weird, but other than that, seems to be okay. Yeah, let's fix the rotation stuff. Item slot. Rotation. Haven't seen crate game. Was supposed to have happened last Sunday. Oh god, I was kind of busy. 222. Yeah, I switched Child of Ether from Sunday to Saturdays because Saturdays I usually get this wad of free time, and I'd rather put it towards Child of Ether than the minigame. So I moved the minigame stuff to Sundays. I think after the crate game, for the next minigame, I'll see about remaking restarting that little not top down, but this isometric-ish view game, where it was two characters collecting loot and tossing them in duffel bags and throwing them towards the truck and getting out before they get overrun. I wonder if you could do 3D dev for HTML export. Still being worked on that causes me to actually speak in the channel and taint it. Okay, so where do we rotate? Rotat. Ah, that's the auto conversion code. It converted my rotation degrees to rotation, even though it's not supposed to. Okay. HTML export for 3D still a bit broken in Godot 4. All right. If anything, we'll just release it as a Steam game. I think we can potentially release all of our mini games as Steam games. Be like, you can play it for free off the website, or you can, if you want to own it, you can buy it. Cool. All right, so that's working now, hopefully. Let me double check the icons. There we go. The font is gone. Okay, cards. Let's fix the cards. Rotation degrees. Oh yeah, I got a response. A first little clip for sound effects for Artag Rise. So it's a different sound engineer, because Cole explicitly mentioned that he wants to keep it sane and work on one project at a time. You know, I can't expect everybody to go balls deep into every single project, 5 projects at once. So he posted a post on his LinkedIn page saying that there's some projects that need sound effects and it's a revenue share model, and if anyone's interested, they can. And I got some replies, and I actually got some. I got some very nice replies with folks with very nice portfolios, and there's this pair of dudes working together to do like sound effects for projects, and they produced a very nice looking effect. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick. If you don't import blend files directly in Godot, you can. Doesn't mean you have to. GLTFs work just as fine for me. And they kind of been around for a little bit longer, so I'm just kind of already used to using those. You can also import FBX. You don't see a lot of people doing it. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see if I can download this. Can I? Yeah, I think I can. Videos. All right. In the meantime, man, I am actually kind of glad that the materials aren't actually completely destroyed. Some of them seem to be, but not all of them. So the materials themselves still exist. I just have to reapply them, which infinitely makes this whole porting process just that much easier. Oh, quick load. Nope. Rock. Okay. I guess we never saved this material. Which, speaking of which, we didn't do the door frame. Where do we have it? Boulder. Texture. Nice. Materials. These are like custom painted. Mm-hmm. Okay, and let me just pop back into this place and save this material. Door frame. Oh, did I? Now, you see, objects, buildings, door frame, material. No, you liar. You definite liar. Yeah, there's no material here. Why are you not saving it? Why do I have to do save as? Materials, painted, door frame. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to figure out this whole thing. We had the interactive ferns working in Godot 3. Something broke during the porting process in Godot 4 because the ferns don't respond in the same way anymore. They don't respond to the whole texture writing thing. So we'll have to debug that as well. That was a really cool effect. I'd like to keep that. Okay. I think we're going to ease up. Yeah, I'm going to ease up on the base fog amount here, which is done right here. So that's the base fog amount. Oh, well, that was even less. So if it's foggy, it just adds this to it. Well, now. Well, compound 0. It starts with an array, loops through it. We add to it all of the values, and then divide it by however many there are. You can even import materials from Blender. Yes, you can, but in many cases in my projects, I found that to be absolutely useless because you can't edit anything about those materials. You can't change the metallic amount. You can't change any of the sliders because it's not going to keep those changes. It's if you're not planning on changing any of that stuff, then cool. But if I want to change any of this stuff, now I can't do it in Godot. I have to open up Blender, find the blend file, find the mesh, open the material, change the values, and then export it again. Fuck that. It's way too long. If Godot were to create a new local material based on the imported material, then I would kind of see the point of it, because it would, and it wouldn't break the connections. It would maintain the links for the materials. So that's honestly kind of a useless feature for my particular workflow. I'm sure there's going to be people with other workflows who don't find it useless, who rely on it, and that's fine from their point of view. But yeah, it's like I work with Godot's own materials. It's all built in because I can adjust every single value. If you want to be able to do that with Blender, you have to either do it in Blender, keep doing it in Blender, or you have to take the material that was assigned, make it unique, which you can't unless you make the mesh also be unique. But what's the point of that? Because it loses connection, and then you can't update the mesh. It's going to just create duplicates, and it's going to override the originals. There's too many things that are broken about that system to really make it in any shape or form usable. Transform layer tool paints the whole canvas white. You can run into that too. Right, I don't use the transform layer as much unless I'm like animating something absolutely stupid simple. So it can keep you from wasting time in the future where there's no need to change, tweak, or God forbid port anything. True about the porting part. Yes, it would have just imported all the same materials and then everything would have just been there. But how often do I port? Once, right? As long as I finish this project before Godot 5 comes out. But yeah, that's not really a huge problem. You know, aforementioned other arguments added on top of it. Now, why is the fog so gosh darn huge? It's supposed to be 0.043. Let's take a look at the fog compound. So fog, let's do this. We're going to do fog, forg, target, stringified version of the fog. And we crashed. Identifier fog and compound. Not declared in current scope. What are you talking? Oh, right. It doesn't exist in the current scope. If interior, I suppose that makes sense. Wait a minute. If we're setting the time of day here, it's supposed to be reset there. Okay. We need to add the text with a new line of code. And then we're going to take this variable. We're going to move it to be redefined over here outside of the interior check. Now it should exist. Hey, the cards are moving now. We can move them around. The font sizes are all messed up. Gonna have to fix that. We might have to do something about the deck. Card deck. Deck card blank. Combat card. This would be in the player. Let's see. Rotation. Cam mount, cam mount. Camera. Direction mount. Held item rotation. Oh. Okay. So I don't see the card behavior here. Could it be that it's actually here? It's in the blank card? Might be. Rotation. There we go. Okay, that should fix the weird deck orientation. Nice. Up, 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 up. And then we can toss that over there. Okay. In that case, maybe we can also adjust, since we're here, adjust the size of the font. Let's see. Stats. Fonts. I do like the improvements to the font system as well. The fact that it's no longer requiring us to create a dynamic font to just drag and drop the files in it, and the fact that the font size is actually independent. It's independent from the font choice. If that's it for you for today. Sounds good, man. Enjoy the victory. You've learned something new. Okay. Now, which one of these fonts was I using before? I think that might be it. But I think it was bold. Thanks for the help. No problem. Okay, we got the outline size. Now we need to set the outline color. I think that's how I got the bold color on it. Colors. Font outline color. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. The card system mechanics I'm learning and borrowing from Inscription, which I think Inscription itself is based on Magic the Gathering. The whole card deals damage to the wielder, the magician, the player. Okay, I'm gonna need to tone down the camera. not the camera, but the light within the player, which is supposed to be kind of like a visibility light so we can always see the player. Now, where is it? Where be that Omnilight? No, player illumination. Okay, so it needs to be just a bit, but the range needs to be a bit larger. Nice. That's a bit much. Hello? I don't know why I can't do that, but I was also testing whatchamacallit, testing the fog, as the value wasn't correct, and then they got sidetracked. 0.043, that's the current fog value, which honestly seems okay. That's supposed to be a torch. Doesn't really read like a torch at the moment. Also, we have that problem right there, where the fog, or the depth of field, doesn't actually understand the depth of the bush. Now, is that because we haven't set up like hashing? Berry bush. Let's see here, like a depth pre-pass or some whatever. Transparency. Why billboard? It's gotta be like... Hey. There we go. Alpha cut. Works for me. Okay, so we're gonna have to watch out for that. Also, I think the camera motion is a little too fast. I'm kind of struggling with it. I think we're using mouse relative, mouse X, mouse Y. There's only two places where we use it. Interesting. So we're actually using mouse motion. We have our own custom mouse by the looks of it. Or do we? Maybe we don't. I don't quite remember how we handled it. Get viewport, get mouse position. I guess not, because then if we would have gotten the mouse position, it would have gotten always the center of the screen. Okay, but anyways, I'm looking to rotate the camera mount. Camera mount dot. Start camera angle. Okay. Global position. Okay. Rotation degrees. Now this, I assumed, would have caused gimbal lock issues. Camera rotation horizontal. What do we got here? This is where we add the rotation. This is where we set the cam limits. Interesting. And we don't set the cam limits by using clamping, because that would have felt like the camera is just like hitting a solid concrete wall, impenetrable. Instead, we just employ smooth transitioning to fix it up. Cool. Okay. So this is it then. So where do we adjust horizontal and vertical rotation? Mouse. Oh. Okay. If input is action pressed, right mouse button, and mouse is not in UI, then we're adding mouse X and mouse Y motion. Honestly, I think this should just be done inside of the input event. And we'll just use mouse relative. Again, that was, I think, programmed before I even knew what mouse relative was. So, what do we have here? If input is action just pressed, right mouse button, just pressed. Okay. So we'll just do it here. If is action pressed, if we're holding the right mouse button, camera horizontal rotation will be using the x-axis. And then here it's going to be using the y-axis. And we're going to go ahead and multiply that by delta. Save ourselves the trouble. Delta is not available here, so get process delta time. I think that's what we need to do. Since delta isn't available in the input event, we'll have to handle it here. All right. All right, and we got a crash. And what do we have a crash? Relative. Right. It might be a good idea to make sure that the event type is mouse motion, because only event types of mouse motion have relative data. Also, I think they might be reversed, X and Y. Let's see. Okay. They're not. Seem to work just fine. Also seems to be a little less sensitive, so that's good. Now, do we ever capture the mouse? We do not. There's mouse mode confined, which kind of makes sense. Set mouse mode confined. This prevents it from ever leaving the screen. Cool. All right. I'll take those improvements. I'm going to take the delay and tone that down a little bit. Hmm. Hey, we have that little boulder also using the same material. Now, I was hoping that I would be able to take care of some stuff in terms of the tools inside of the house. I don't know if I have enough time though. Boulder. Nice. Okay. We do have another object that needs dealing with. We have that paper note. That is not a paper note. The paper has been defeated somehow against all odds. There's go. There it is. Oh. Yeah, no smoothing. Whoops. Okay. I guess we have no paper note material. Okay. Transparency would be alpha scissor. We'll have to shade smooth this thing. And then let's save. Materials painted. Paper note. Beautiful. I want to double check if the day and night cycle still works. There was a bit of an issue where the music starts playing to indicate the turnover of the day. It didn't seem like it stopped the music afterwards. Let's do dusk. It's a little loud. Oh, what the? Oh, damn it. I just pressed space. Ah, okay, hold on. Let's figure that out for a sec. We have audio master. I think our current layers are coming in way too loud. And I believe we've already accounted for that by adjusting the loudness of the tracks here. I think this is it. So main menu. These are zones, outside, waltz, dull bells. I think these. Oh wow, yeah, that's a little much. It was supposed to be negative 18. That seems a little loud. I got a very Silent Hilly approach to the music. It's a little quiet now. Let's go negative 8. There it is. There's the feeling that I'm trying to capture. The coloring isn't quite right, I think, for the dusk. Going uphill is a little messed up. What the hell is that? Oh yeah, the terrain does this as well. I think it's a occlusion functionality. Oh, that's a particle. That's weird. Hmm. Old neutron campfire from space. He has the classic tractor beam logs. They always give you that warm armor glow. Oh, that's right. There's two particles here. Love the art style. Well, thank you. Don't look. It's all broken right now. Courtesy of the porting process. Okay. I was gonna fix up little tidbits here and there. I think for the next session, I'm gonna see about clearing a pretty major feature of the game, which is, well, all of the chemical craftable stations inside of the house. And the general approach to those stations is that in this game, I wanna delve a little bit more into randomization and crafting a unique experience to each player. And this is something that I got to experience in Deathloop, where every code, every number, every password, every safe combination is totally randomized. And I'm kind of already doing the same sort of thing for Dreadtail. But in this one, I want to go a step further. And I want to randomize the recipes, at least partially. Like if you have a torch, and the torch is stick, what is it? Stick, cloth, and gasoline type thing, fuel. Then it's kind of the same thing from game to game. But what I wanted to do is add a particular component to it, where you have these gems and embers and crystals and all these components that don't have to be tied to a particular recipe. So I would randomize, let's say for crafting a torch, you have to do stick, cloth, fuel, and then some type of a crystal. And the type of a crystal would be randomly chosen when you start a new game, which would make every single player have a slightly different approach, a slightly different recipe to their items. And this way, when you're starting a new game, the component of crafting is something that you experience anew. When you're looking at like replay value. Every time you play the game, if you memorize a particular recipe, then, well, cool. Okay, so you could just, if you play Minecraft, the recipes don't change. They're the same from game to game to game, but also Minecraft is kind of a creative, like heavily creative type of game. So it makes sense for them to do it that way. In this one, I wanted to make sure that if you get, let's say, a recipe from a quest character, when you start a new game, you don't just bypass that character and get the item right away, because the recipe will have changed. Right? So you have these amethysts, you have, you have ambers, you have crystals, you have opals, or opal technically would be a very particular crystal. Gems, right? Whatever the word's going to be. And then those can be ground down into dusts, crystal dust, amber dust, and then those would be used in chemical minigame to combine and then smelt together into a particular thing. So you can either use the powders, or you can fuse them into something new, like craft them into cards, combat cards, and the recipe would be different every time. That's the general idea. And I thought of it like 2-3 years ago, and to this point it still doesn't seem like a dumb idea. So, well, that's what I'm gonna have to figure out. Basically, randomize the crafting system so that you don't get the same exact recipe. Some random overlaps may happen, but for the most part, it's gonna be that. Cool. So I'm gonna have to probably like ask ChatGPT to give me a series of bullshit crystal names. Some, I can't even come up with anything. I'm not, I'm not a I'm not a spiritual white woman who knows everything about crystals. Live, laugh, love. That type of deal. So I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT for that nonsense. How many people do you think I reckon just pissed off? Oh, God. Okay. Cool. I think I'll take a break. I got some stuff at 7 o'clock. Cool beans. All right. All right. Sounds good. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Appreciate the company. And, yeah, again, I kind of hope they would do a little bit more work today, but it is what it is. All right. Cool. See ya.